Hello everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we're going to be taking over a look at how we can implement saving media files locally inside of our Django application, because as of right now, our API is still not complete and there's a long way before we actually deploy our API to a production ready environment and link it to Google Cloud as our media storage solution. Hence, for the time being, just to test the functionality out and kind of see whether fields work or not, we're going to implement a solution where we'll be able to save files locally on our file system, and then Django is going to actually serve them from there. And this is going to be a fairly simple process. All we have to do is add 3 more lines of code and we should be all set. So to get started, the first thing I'd like you to do is that I'd like you to go to the settings.py file inside of the taskful_API folder. I'd like you to go to the bottom of it, and then I'd like you to add 2 new variables. The first is going to be media_root, all capital, and then the value for this is going to be os.path.join. And then the first argument is going to be base there. And base directory is going to come from something that is already defined inside of our settings.py file. If we go to the top, as you can see here, already included by Django. And then after that, we'll actually add the path or the folder where we want to save all of our media files. And I'm going to set that to media. Now you might see that we get an error that OS is not defined. And for that, just go to the top and actually import the OS package. So now that this is done, the error should be resolved. Next thing I'd like you to do is that I'd like you to add a new variable apart from the media root, which is going to be media_URL. And this is going to tell Django after which URL are all of our media assets going to be accessible. And we want all of our media assets to be accessible after /media. So I'm going to do command save. But before we can actually test this out, there's one key thing that we have to do, and that is that we have to go to where we have our context processors defined, and that's inside of our templates list, and then inside of there the dictionary that we have, and then inside of there the context processor. And here we have to add this new context processor, which is going to be django.template.context_processors.media. As soon as you do this, command save, all of the stuff that needs to be implemented for actually serving media content is now good. So you can reload the application, and now we're ready to test it out. So to test it, I'm going to test it out 2 ways. One, by sending a patch request, and the other way by actually doing an update from the admin panel. So to get started, we'll test it through the admin panel. So I'm going to go to our admin panel, and from there I'm going to click on the houses, and I'm going to select one of the houses for which I want to update the image. I'm going to select the first one. And then inside of here, I'm going to clear the image first because it already has an image. And I'm going to click on choose image. And then I'm going to select the image. This was one that I downloaded from the internet, and I'm going to click on save. And you're going to see that the image is going to now be saved for our house. And if you take a look at the actual project hierarchy, you're going to see that a new folder appears, which is called media, or new directory, inside of which we have some folders which are media, then houses, followed by the actual house ID, and then images. And this will become more prominent once I upload a second image as well. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to go to our GUI for our actual houses endpoint. And you're now going to see that we actually get a URL for our image for the second house for which we have just uploaded an image. And here you can see that the actual media file accessible from the /media endpoint. So I'm going to click on it, and you're going to see that it's going to give us an error, and that says that it wasn't able to actually match this endpoint to any specific URL. And to fix this issue, it's really easy. All we have to do is that we have to go to our urls.py file. And then inside of there, the first thing we have to do is that we have to import the static function, which is going to be imported from django.conf.urls.static. Once you have the static function imported, you're going to do is that you're going to come down to the bottom, and then you're going to append to the URL patterns our actual static URL. So to do that, you'll do URL patterns plus equals, and then you're going to call the static function. And then here you're going to do settings.media URL as the first argument. And this is going to be the endpoint after which our media static assets are going to be available. And then for the document root, which is a argument that you have to give to the static function, you're going to do that as settings.media_root. So this document root will actually tell Django where to find the actual files. And I've just duplicated this line, so I'm just going to remove the other one and do command save. And if you do this, and then if you reload the actual app, you're going to see that now it displays the image. So now that we've solved this problem, we can go back to our original goal of actually uploading an image for the Slytherin house. So I'm going to click on the corresponding URL for Slytherin. And since I'm not the house manager, I'm not allowed. So I'm going to log out. I'm going to log back in. And this time I'm going to log in as Draco Malfoy. And then I'm going to put in the specific password, log in, and now I should be able to upload an image. So I'm going to choose file. And then the file that I'm going to select is going to be this one, the one that I downloaded from the internet. Click on open and then do put. And now you should see that the file is successfully uploaded. If we go to our media folder, you're going to see that we have these two new folders. And if I extend them, you're going to actually see that they actually follow the convention that we had actually defined inside of our file field for our house model, where we have media/houses/ the ID of the house /images, and then we have the actual main.png. So one of the houses, Slytherin, has this, while Gryffindor has this. So now that we've defined a temporary solution, which also can be a permanent solution in some cases for actually storing media files, I think I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Thank you.